And now we'll talk about Conklin's gasoline fuel system cleaner with 4-Power G. And here are a few symbols that represent what 4-Power G will do for you, found on the vehicle product specification sheet. By the end of this section, you will have the information needed to answer 3 to 4 questions on the product you've just heard about. First, 4-Power G has 2 treatment rates. One is 4 and the other is 4. 4-Power G is intended for use every. And third, once 4-Power G has been used, what goes in every tank? 4-Power G is conveniently sized in a 16-ounce bottle. You'll find that many of Conklin's products are offered in an array of sizes to allow for them to be conveniently used, because convenience is key. With 1 ounce treating 1 gallon, the 16-ounce bottle is ideal for many light passenger cars and trucks on the road. However, if you have a larger fuel system, say a 30 to 34 gallon system found in newer passenger trucks or larger light trucks, it is okay to use 2 bottles, as we do recommend that you treat an entire tank through 2 consecutive tanks when initially using the product. For more information on usage, please find the specification sheet. And now we'll review 2 slides of pictures showing the before and after the use of 4-Power G. The first picture you'll see on the left is a picture of a valve that has fallen victim to the low levels of detergents in today's gasoline. You'll see the varnish and gum deposits around the valve, around the stem of the valve. And then on the right, you'll see a picture after the use of 4-Power G, where we've been able to come through and clean not just a single component, a single area of the fuel system, but a complete fuel system cleaner, which 4-Power G is. In the second picture, you'll see an image of an injector. Now, this is a direct injection injector, and you'll see on the left is an image of an injector that again has fallen victim to the low levels of detergents in today's gasolines and has formed deposits. Now, direct injection injectors are special in the fact that the injector actually injects the fuel directly into the combustion chamber. What that leads to is the opportunity for liquid fuel to burn inside of the injector at the point of combustion. Now, when that happens, you're more likely to have deposits forming inside of that injector, which are going to rob the vehicle performance, mileage, and driver satisfaction. Now, on the image on the right, what you have is after the use of 4-Power G, we've been able to come through and clean up those deposits that have been likely leading to hesitation, higher emissions level, lower performance, lower mileage in general. After the use of 4-Power G, both of these depict what the product is able to do to come through and clean that entire fuel system. And you can view higher resolution pictures of what you've just seen on Conklin specification sheets or sales sheets available online. And now we'll be doing the 4-Power G demonstration. Now, what you'll need to do this demonstration is, of course, some product and also the demo kit, part number 78853. This is a kit that Conklin puts together to help you better do these demonstrations. Now, what you get with this kit is also a can. It's not a very good can. It's got holes in the bottom. This can is used during the dike demonstrations. There's also a toothbrush used during that dike demonstration, but as we're not doing this demonstration at this time, we'll be doing it later on in the training session here. I'm going to set this stuff aside because what we'll be using is Conklin's 4-Power G and 2 of these bottles here initially. So to set that aside, what you'll need to do this, we'll go ahead and open these bottles, get some carbon strips out, and 1 bottle for the product itself. Now we'll fill this 2/3 to 3/4 of the way up, and the reason we do that is you'll actually see the product creeping up the carbon strip, and I'll discuss the strips here in just a moment. Yeah, that's good. Put the lid on that so I don't spill it. Now what we have here, the carbon strips, this is a sheet of metal with a carbon paint on it, and this is to simulate the cleanup that 4-Power G and 4-Power D will be doing in your fuel system. We'll go ahead and drop this into the bottle, put the lid on it again so I don't spill it here. And what we'll notice here is during the demonstration, the carbon paint is all going to come off at once. Now the reason it does that is that's how it was applied. Now in the real world, in the deposits that are in your fuel system, they were put on there little bit by little bit at a time, and that's how the product is actually going to be taking those deposits off, little bit at a time by little bit at a time. It's not going to be sloughing off as in the demonstration here. But what we'll notice in a very short period of time, and you've already begun to see it, is the rippling of the carbon strip up and down that metal strip here. You'll notice also that the product has a great ability to creep throughout the entire fuel system, and is actually going to go up the carbon strip as well and start to remove the deposits above the actual fluid level here. And remember, in your vehicle, the deposits are going to be removed just like they were put on, a little bit at a time, by a little bit at a time, which is also part of why when the 4-Power-G product is initially used, it should be run through 2 consecutive tanks. And after the second consecutive tank, the fuel filter should be changed in vehicles that are equipped with a fuel filter that should be changed as part of the regular maintenance. Then 4-Power-G should be used every 4 months or 4,000 miles, while Conklin's FuelMate Plus should be used in every tank. Notice again how the rippling's going on above the actual product level, up above where the strip is. And this is the 4-Power-G demonstration. Conklin's 4-Power-G is an aggressive fuel system cleaner, but you don't have to be a mechanic or a gearhead to use this product. If you can pump your gas, you can use Conklin's fuel system cleaners and conditioners. With 4-Power-G, you have an aggressive cleaner that's able to clean the entire fuel system. This is not just a injector cleaner. This cleans all the way from the tank through the combustion chambers and helps provide more driver satisfaction, a cleaner system, better performance, and better mileage. 4-Power-G will aggressively clean the fuel system components, dissolve varnish, gum, and deposits through fuel injector, fuel line, and carburetor cleanup, combustion chamber, valve, and port deposit cleanup, cleanup of combustion chamber deposits, reducing knocking and pinging, excellent cleanup of injectors in direct injection gasoline engines, where injector plugging is more of a concern, disperse water, ease cold weather starts, preventing fuel line freezing, protect against fuel system corrosion, intended for use in all gasolines, including ethanol gas, E10, E15, and E85, and gasoline fuel systems where ethanol fuels have been used. 4-Power-G does have 2 treatment rates in its 16-ounce bottle, and as seen on the bottle, as the bottle does have a view stripe illustrating both treatment rates, 1 ounce is recommended for use in 1 gallon of gasoline in typical 4-stroke engines. In 2-stroke engines, it's recommended to use 4 ounces per 2.5 gallons. So in 4 strokes, it's 1 ounce per gallon, whereas in 2 strokes, it's 4 ounces per 2.5. And both of that is illustrated on the view stripe on the bottle for the 2 treatment rates. With 4-Power-G, and regardless of the age of the vehicle, 4-Power-G should be initially used through 2 consecutive tanks. After the second initial use, the fuel filter should be changed in vehicles where a filter change is part of the regular maintenance. 4-Power-G should then be run every 4 months or 4,000 miles after the initial treatment, while FuelMate Plus should be used in every tank. And here's a testimonial on 4-Power-G.
4-Power is an amazing product of 4-Power-G and 4-Power-D that we now have available to us. But I wanted to share what the result that Amanda had with her brand new Toyota that she had bought and started using the FuelMate in the vehicle. Didn't use the 4-Power-G in it because she didn't think with a brand new vehicle that she would need it. The FuelMate added some increased mileage, but really wasn't getting quite the results that she was hoping for. And she came to a meeting, was talking about it, wanted to know about using the 4-Power-G in that vehicle. We said, hey, try it and let's see what happens. Amazing. She had less than 6,000 miles on the vehicle at that point, so it really had no buildup of anything as far as her running the vehicle. But yet, when she used the 4-Power-G in her new vehicle, she went from a little over 25 miles per gallon to over 33 miles per gallon with that vehicle. Just proof that even though it's a new vehicle, 4-Power-G does the job.
Hi, John. This is Denny Damon from Prior Lake, Minnesota. And I have a friend who has a 1998 Chevrolet pickup with about 150,000 miles on it. About a year ago, he had a service engine light come on, and he took it in, and they told him that it had one of the injectors was causing problems in it. probably require about $800 or $900 to fix that, so he was pretty upset. I introduced him to 4-Power G, and he's a former mechanic, so he was very skeptical about any products being able to fix anything. He said, you know, all the stuff I've tried hasn't done any good. I said, put in a couple cans and run that and then see what happens, and then start running some FuelMate Plus at the normal rate. So he got a hold of some of the 2-ounce bottles and a couple cans of the fuel system cleaner, and it totally solved the problem. Then I've got another one. I have another friend who has a big Ranger boat, and he has a 225 Yamaha engine on that, and he was just not getting the RPMs out of it, and he thought something major was wrong. It just wouldn't run on the high end, and as you know, these high revving outboards, especially those big horsepower V6 engines, they turn maybe 5,000 or 5,500 RPMs, and sometimes even higher. So he said, I wonder what I should do here. And I said, well, there's a product called 4-Power G. And he said, well, I'm aware of our other buddy's good experiences in his pickup truck, so I'd be willing to try it. And we put in the recommended rate, I believe it was 2 ounces per gallon of fuel. And I said, once you've run that through there, maybe take the spin-on fuel canister off. There's a water separator and so on those big engines. Change that, and having done that, the RPMs are back up right to new specifications. The engine's running beautifully. And here again is a use for the products in our recreational vehicles like outboards, snowmobiles, our small engines like our lawnmowers, snow blowers, you name it. Needless to say, the products, as I think we all know, just work wonderfully. And these fuels today are really poor quality, so we need to be running the 4-Power G regularly, or every, as the label says, 4,000 miles or so, maybe 3-4 times a year. Keep that FuelMate Plus in every single tank full. So I thought I'd share that one with you because it's another happy user of Conklin vehicle products, saving several hundred, maybe even several $1,000s in expenses by actually using something that worked.
And now we're going to review the 3 questions that we posed at the beginning of this section. Initially, 4-Power G has 2 treatment rates. One is for typical 4-stroke engines at a rate of 1 ounce per gallon of gasoline, and the other is for use in 2-stroke engines at a treatment rate of 4 ounces per 2.5 gallons of gasoline. 4-Power G should be used every 4 months or 4,000 miles. And lastly, with 4-Power G being used every 4 months or 4,000 miles, what should be used in every tank? FuelMate Plus, which we'll be covering here in a moment, is the fuel system conditioner that should be used in every tank.